Matador squad that has gotten all that attention has been Jordan Lucas. The energy and celebrations of Jordan Lucas have gone viral, even garnering national media attention. And it all started in this building a few weeks ago when Northridge took on Irvine during the regular season. It was during that match and during the television broadcast where negative comments were made by the color commentator Charlie Brandt about Lucas's celebrations that took off. That those comments were later condemned by the Big West. But Lucas's videos went viral. The support began pouring in, so much so that he now has 200,000 new Instagram followers and millions of views online. Lucas has said that he is overwhelmed by the support and just wants to be a role model to future volleyball players to be unapologetically themselves. No doubt a lot of eyes will be on Jordan Lucas tonight. We'll have more from the sideline throughout the match. Back over to you.
Hey, thanks a lot, Ryan. Let's take a look at the first Hawaiian Bank keys to the match. What do you got for us, C-Mac?
Well, for CSUN, it's Moore Phillips. That's Jaden Phillips. He's the guy who can take over match at any point. I've talked to coaches throughout the league, and they all say this guy is really, really good. We'll see if he gets more sets tonight. And for Irvine, is the home crowd a plus? Coach David Niffen feels like they really worked hard to become the #3 in attendance this year. He's hoping that a lot of fans show up tonight and give their team some support and make a difference.
Yeah, they went 6-5, did the Anteaters, in this building this season. Now, this is obviously a Big West sanctioned postseason event, and so you don't necessarily have all the same accoutrements that come along with being a home team. Certainly UC Irvine has carved out a really wonderful and effective home advantage and atmosphere in this building, but there's no denying this is their floor, this is their venue, these are their fans who have come out in force to support this squad.
They've got a great fan base, but no longer can the players go up and shake hands in between games, say thanks for coming out tonight. But no longer can the pizza vendor come here and have the players deliver pizza to the fans. It's going to be a different atmosphere. It's all tournament business.
You see Theo Edwards' 4th season atop this Matador program. They are 2-7 in this Big West Conference Championship event. 2-5 in the first round. And 0-2 whenever they have matched up with UC Irvine in this tournament. David Niffen, 14-year head coach. He's on the other side for UC Irvine. As we take a look at the series this season, Irvine winning in 4. This was the match that was played in this building, and you had strong performances from several players really on both sides. Irvine, they were able to more or less flex in the rematch on April 11th in Northridge as they won by way of a sweep.
That night, Theo Edwards said they just could not pass the ball, and David Niffen's team just served the lights out.
Anteaters 17-7 overall in the regular season. They went 5-5 in Big West Conference play. They finished tied record-wise with UC Santa Barbara. But they got the 3 seed by virtue of the set total tiebreaker. They split their series with the Gauchos, but they won their match in 4. Gauchos won their match in 5, and there it is. It can be that closely separated. And it will be the Matadors serving first. Joao Avila with the serve. Outside set, and this is Andre Jokanovic. And he gets the point after getting the touch. And what a season this freshman has had. 6-7 frosh from Cannes, France. Averaging 3.5 kills per set. We showed you the number in that first match with CSUN. 23 kills on 41 attempts.
No challenges in the last match. Here's a challenge after 1 point.
Yeah.
Go figure. Could be a long night.
Well, they're taking advantage, or the Matadors, on what they felt was a no touch, and it gives us a chance to introduce the officials as well. Tony Chan is the R1. Sergio Gonzalez is the R2. The R3 replay official, Derwin Jordan. The scorer is Jane Dong. And the line judges, you got 4 of them. There aren't going to be any missed calls with 4 line judges, right? You have Rob Reyes, John Park, Rachel Jensen, and Zitali Martinez. So the call on the floor was a touch. The challenge from Theo Edwards was a no touch. We'll see what happens.
Theo Edwards going with the smaller lineup tonight, hoping to get some better passing.
It's a net cam from across the way, so a little difficult to see anything conclusive from that distance.
I will tell you this, the minute that ball was called a touch, Jalen Phillips turned to Coach Edwards and said, challenge that. I didn't come near touching it.
Edwards taking over for longtime head coach of the Matadors, Jeff Campbell. He was there for 25 years, winningest head coach in CSUN history. Edwards played for him, was a team captain of the 2010 squad that made the NPSF tournament final and the NCAA tournament that year. And after a review, they uphold the call, and immediately a failed challenge there by Theo Edwards.
There's some laughter between the net because I think the Irvine players know they got away with the one because Phillips and Nim. There's athletic justice.
Yeah, that's what they'll refer to as athletic justice, as that one goes long by the setter Cameron Costy for UC Irvine. Let's check out the nonstop travel starting lineups. Interesting what CSUN is doing. We saw them go small last week against Hawaii as they put Avila back on the outside after he started that series at libero. And they're starting this match with a little bit of that smaller lineup as the out ball gives the point to the Matadors.
Theo Edwards wants a little bit better passing. Avila probably won't get set that much, but he will be passing a lot of balls.
Shane Nem on the serve. Backside set. And that is Jokanovic. And he is a beast. All Big West first teamer and all freshman team selection. 5th in the Big West Conference in kills and aces. And also 12th in the league in digs. What makes him so well-rounded as a player?
Well, he's a good passer. He's the MVP in the U19 group in France this year, and they got the gold. So he was a primary passer as well. So he's got the whole game.
Dig along the back line there by Chris Carnizes. High ball set. Here's Jalen Phillips, and he gets rejected. So they get the better of Phillips on that offering. 6'5" redshirt junior from Anaheim, California. He's averaging almost 3.9 kills per set, hitting .313. But that time, Trevor Clark, who has been a solid addition to the mix here for Irvine. Transfer from San Diego Mesa College, getting most of that. Here's Phillips again, goes over the triple block, but it goes long, no touch, and the point to Irvine.
Phillips just did not get that one square. He did no top spin on it at all. It was a flat, rising ball. That's why it went out of bounds. He knew he had to go over the block, but normally hits those with a little top spin and hits the back line at least.
There's a quick middle set, and that one is put down by João Favarim. He is a 6'7" sophomore from Brazil. Missed several weeks due to a patella issue. He is a guy who found his way back into the rotation here in recent weeks. And he can get it revved up. There's Phillips on the serve. Pass by Jokanovic is a good one. Backside set. That's Will Darcy, and he gets stuffed. It was Favarim jumping up next to Jordan Lucas. And we are tied at 4.
There's another guy who can go over blocks a lot. He's a 6'10" Australian senior national team. And he can play, but got blocked that time. The two opposites having some problem right now.
Great pass there by Shane Aitken. Outside set, and that one is plugged past the block by Andreas Brink, 6'6" freshman from Denmark, recently returning from injury himself. Played in 49 sets in the regular season. Averaged below a kill, hit 121, but David Niffen telling us that he trusts him to be a factor here in the postseason.
Also a great beach volleyball player. Won the U18s in Europe, and he's got the beach game and the indoor game.
Here's the serve by Jordan Lucas, and that goes long. Lucas, we talked about it. Ryan encapsulated just his meteoric rise in popularity here over the last couple of weeks, and there are a lot of fans in the house who are here specifically to watch and support him.
And he struggled last week in Hawaii, hitting negative for the weekend.
There's a middle set. Favarim is blocked. Good cover by Lucas, and then off a 1 foot Micah Goss pokes it home. 6'6" sophomore from Santa Barbara, California.
Great dig by Lucas in the middle of that rally to keep it going, but Lucas had the last say. Or Goss had the last say.
Goss, ABCA All-American honorable mention and all-freshman team selection a year ago. As that served by Darcy, misses just wide. And so a point to CSUN. It is 6-7, inching along here early in set one. Matadors 12-14 overall this year. We mentioned 0-10 in the league. Doesn't necessarily encompass just how competitive they have been in some of these matches, as Micah Goss obliterates that set from costing.
Micah Goss at 6'6", a smallish middle blocker, but boy, he's got hops and he's got the heavy arm.
Hit 364 in the regular season. Back set, here's Phillips through a triple block. It's dug up along the back line by Brink. The world.
That's why I said that my key to the game was, can he set Phillips like every time? He'll be definitely a difference maker. But in that second set last week against Hawaii, he had no errors either. 15 swings and no errors. He was pretty special.
See the home crowd having learned to clap along with Micah Goss as he smacks the ball before his serves. High ball set. Here's Phillips. Off the block, the cover by Avila. It hangs over to the Irvine side. Middle set, and that is Clark. Giving it a rip. The 6'10" junior from Lake Elsinore, California.
David Niffen said he's really been pleased with Clark's improvement as a server. Looked pretty good as an attacker right there. I know he's been a great blocker all year, but we'll watch his serving tonight and see how much he has improved.
Well, he leads the Big West Conference in hitting percentage. Coming into this match, hitting .519. So, yeah, he's pretty good just about in every area you can ask.
Yeah.
As that serve goes along by Goss. And here is João Avila from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. 6'1" sophomore. Getting started outside here tonight. And forces the overpass, fielded by Lucas. Owen Doffner goes backside. Phillips tried to push Dinkett through the block. Quick jump there for Jukanovic. Avila takes on the set. Lucas off of one leg. It goes off the block, off Lucas, off the block, and down for a Matador point.
What a bizarre play. Watch this again in slow motion. There you go. I think it went off Lucas's head, maybe, did it?
I think so.
Oh, man.
Hey, whatever works. It's in the book as a kill. Here's Darcy from behind the line. Good dig, Avila. The swing, Lucas off the fingertips and down. And Jordan Lucas, who plays with a certain flair and enthusiasm that makes him quite unique. He has been celebrated here over the last couple of weeks. And that got a rise out of the Jordan Lucas fans in the stands.
He gets 2 kills in 2 plays.
Outside. And there is Jukanovic. You know, you look at him, C-Mac, and this is something that David Niffen also referenced. The athleticism doesn't necessarily jump out at you. He doesn't look like he's doing things in a way that is superhuman, but he just is so consistent and calculated with his movements.
He's an especially good passer. Takes a lot of pride in that. He's also very good friends with Adrian Rohr. They play for Hawaii. They play in the same age group for French national teams. And they're very good friends.
Well, you've got a couple of Frenchmen that have served them well. As Darcy goes with the left hand, the 6'10" senior from Brisbane, Australia.
Yeah, at 6'10", he's an imposing presence up front. He can take a set that he doesn't normally like and make a lot out of it.
He's taken his game to another level this season, production-wise. Favarin slowed down by the block. 2-hand save, Aitken. Middle set, Clark gets blocked. And then it's set up there on the pass by Aitken to the net, and Phillips knows what to do with it.
And of all people, Aitken probably is the most precise passer on UCI's team. Spent a lot of time this week, really working on his passing to make sure it was good. And And that time, a miscue. Phillips made him pay for it.
And then he comes out with a near ace. They are going to call it an ace. They're going to say it hit the Terraflex right in front of Jokanovic. And I don't think David Niffen is going to challenge that. It looked, from our perspective, like it did touch the floor.
Yeah, I thought it did.
So Phillips gets that free kill, and then he follows that up with an ace. It's 13 serving 14. And just misses wide. That close to back-to-back aces.
Didn't miss by much, did it? Brink at 6'6", giving him a little bit more size on the outside. And a savvy, smart player.
Oh, and that's an ace. Avila couldn't handle it with the two-hand approach. And just like that, Irvine with its largest lead of the first frame.
He took that way too low below his chest, and very difficult to pass that out. Let's see if he steps up a little bit more.
12 aces this season for Clark. Avila handles it that time. Here's Lucas, blocked and roofed. It was Darcy jumping up next to Goss, and they weren't having it. The lead is now 7 for Irvine. What's happening here? This block starting to zero in, C-Mac.
Yeah, it really is. Well, the setting's becoming predictable because the passes are not, where they should be to give the center a chance to really set it both to 3 or 4 different players. Right now, the passes is such that it's predictable that where the set's going to go, so 2 or 3 blockers can get out there and form a solid block as they did that last time on Lucas.
6 straight points here for Irvine. It was 14-13 just a few blinks ago. Decent. Here's Phillips. 2 blockers against him. Good save along the back line by Jokanovic, but it is hit out by Brink. And so the point goes to the Matadors. And here is Jordan Lucas to serve. The 6'3" redshirt junior from Hacienda Heights, California. Transferred to CSUN from Grand Canyon as that middle set goes to Goss. And Micah Goss, very efficient early. In fact, about as efficient as humanly possible. 4 swings, 4 kills.
Yeah, batting 1,000.
Higher velo there from Darcy on the serve. Here's Avila punched in the air by Aitken. And a good layout second touch by Costi. Over, they're going to whistle Brink for what they deem to be a double contact there on that two-handed send-over.
If the ball's got any spin on it at all, the officials are going to call that one on the 3rd contact going over the net.
Yeah, if it's a second touch or it stays on the same side, they'll be pretty liberal with it. Much stricter when it goes over. Served by Boaz Surson from Israel. And that goes off of the dome of Owen Doffner and into the seats. That was pounded by Brink. And some of the Irvine guys, including Andreas Brink, checking on Owen Doffner, the sophomore setter for CSUN.
Nice bit of
seems to be okay.
Nice bit of sportsmanship, because that ball went off his head pretty hard.
Yeah, we've seen...
How deep into the seats did it go? A 3rd row?
Yeah, about there. And we've seen guys suffer from concussions due to those kinds of ricochets. So good to see Doffner seems to be all right as Brink sends it long. Owen Doffner's been getting pretty beat up lately, right? He hobbled a little bit last week in Hawaii when he went down awkwardly a couple of times. He had a sleeve on his left knee in the second night match against the Rainbow Warriors, and there he takes a pop to the dome. Here he is now serving. He's a tough dude, no doubt about that. Decent. Darcy splits the uprights of the double block. And Irvine is closing in here in set 1.
Cameron Costi's identifying where the small blocker is, Avila, and trying to feed that side of the court makes it a little bit easier for a mismatch to occur. 6'10" versus 6'1", that's a mismatch, right?
I would say in just about every instance. 23 serving 16. Goss sends it across. Outside, here's Phillips from the left side. Oh, he got way up in the stratosphere, but a great touch by the block. Jokanovic down the line and in. Oh, that was A great shot initially ruled, but it was overruled by the R1, Tony Chan. So it looked like a possible surgical point there for Jokanovic, but they rule it out.
Definitely out. There's going to be a challenge, but I don't think David Niffin's going to win this challenge.
Interesting, up by a fair amount of points here. David Niffin looking to use a challenge here on what was at the very least a close call. Again, maybe the fact that the line judge in that corner called it in, giving Niffin a little bit more courage to utilize the challenge.
I think it's pretty clear the ball was out.
So we have access here during the tournament to the DB Sport cam system. Some of the static cameras and other camera positions that, in addition to our broadcast camera positions, are at the disposal of Sergio Gonzalez on these reviews. And the replay official, Derwin Jordan. So he's taking a look. Yeah, there you see Derwin Jordan. The R3 taking a look at it. Cool to have access to some of those camera angles as well.
Yeah. And notice that the call's being made by people at the desk, not the R2. Unlike
back home. Well, they load up the officials here for postseason time. We got, instead of usually 2 line judges, you got 4. You got the R3 replay official taking a look. It's Alyssa Fujishima, the daughter of our producer, Candace, who's sitting next to Derwin Jordan. She's helping our production crew here this evening. A student at Concordia Irvine. And so the challenge is unsuccessful as they uphold the call, an out call, and a great overrule there by Tony Chan, the R1. It ends up standing. And so it is CSUN serving. (17) serving 23. Here is Avila. And he finds that deep corner. And a well-timed ace. They're going to need a few more of those. They're going to need a service run here to try to make set 1 interesting.
Avila with all that Brazilian
BPM back in the islands. 2-seed Long Beach State awaiting the winner of this one. CSUN and UC Irvine. Matadors down 4. And that service error out of the timeout gives Irvine set point. Anteaters out hitting CSUN 346 to 048. They're out digging them 10-3. Maybe a few service errors helping to give the Matadors a little life here, but
only the blocks are even. It's the only stat that works. CSUN's hanging in there.
Here's Andon Kiriakou, 6'2" junior from Toronto, Canada. And he serves it into the twine. So it remains set point. Aloha ball for Irvine, trying to strike first in this match. Ham on the serve, into the net, and
he'll have 10 kills in this set. Who knows?
Well, in the first match against Irvine, he had 15 kills on 39 attempts. One of 5 matches this year where he has attempted 39 or more swings. And so he is a little familiar with that high-level workload, and I agree with you. I think it might be time to just feed the beast.
Yeah.
What a pass there by Lucas, outside set. Avila able to beat Darcy to the touch. And he goes off the hands and out for the CSUN point to start things off in set 2. Joao Avila. Remember, this is a guy who ended up taking over the primary role at libero.
Yeah.
And then last week in Hawaii, Theo Edwards slides him back to the pin.
He needed the passing. when he's going up against a guy like Darcy at 6'10", it's really a huge advantage to Darcy there. But Avila's smart enough to chisel the right hand of Darcy.
Jokanovic. Into the net it goes.
Jokanovic, Serbian-born, but lives now in France. His dad was an Olympian in Atlanta for Serbia.
Yeah, Dad actually played for Yugoslavia prior to the breaking off of Serbia. And as you mentioned, competed in the Olympics. What a dig there by Aitken on what was a smashing swing by Avila. Now they go to the right side. Pancake saved by Aitken. No. They'll say the spatula did not get underneath, that touched the floor, and a lot of shoulder shrugs and palms pointed upward from the Irvine side. And I think we're going to get a challenge here.
If he slid the spatula under, it'll be pretty obvious right here.
Ooh. I think he may have gotten that underneath. So the call was down, point CSUN, challenged by David Niffen, saying that it was not, in fact, down, that his libero Shane Aitken, who he had very high praise for, second in the Big West Conference in digs, all Big West Conference honorable mention selection, that he was able to slide that spatula underneath. Oh, does it touch, though, on the side of the hand? Does it touch any part of the Terraflex?
Yeah, looks like it catches some Terraflex right there. That's a lot of floor.
Yeah.
Might have got some hand on it, but that's a lot of floor.
Different story from that angle. You see all of the angles available. And the call is upheld. And Shane Aitken kind of arguing the point with the R2 Sergio Gonzalez, and David Niffen telling him, hey, look, you're not the floor captain. Do not do that. And so the call stands. Failed challenge for Niff. 3 serving 1. There's Aitken on serve receive. Outside, and that is clobbered. Andreas Brink.
His best swing of the night. That was vicious.
Might be one of his best swings of the season.
It's almost like a little no-look shot, too. He's looking cross court and then comes back to the seam. Really good shot.
Goffner going back row. Oh, timing was a little amiss. Chance here for the Anteaters, but the roof is up. Shane Nem denying access in the middle.
Shane Nem, one of the leapers in the gym. He and Jalen Phillips each touching 12 feet or more.
Yeah, he got some lift. There's no doubt. Hitting .429 on the year, second on the team in blocks. He was recruited as an oppo. But with injuries, including to one of their standout middles, Stelion Delibosov, Theo Edwards was forced to do a lot of mixing and matching and put guys who were perhaps traditionally pin hitters into that middle position.
Theo's had 9 different lineups this year. It's really been musical chairs, to say the least.
3 serving 4. Outside, here's Lucas, blocked and roofed. And that's Cameron Costi framing up the edge.
Cameron Costi was thrown into the setting position. He was also an outside hitter before, and then he turned to be a setter. This Aiden Rigg, who was the starting setter, whose dad, Matt, is in the crowd.
Lucas sends it cross court to Phillips, skips it off the fingertips. They go outside, and there's Brink again. And Brink is percolating to the tune of 6 kills.
Brink once again looking cross court and bringing it back down the line. Like a Magic Johnson no-look pass.
Darcy, Lucas on the first touch, and unable to track it down was Karnizis. And it is an ace for Darcy. takes a 2-point advantage. Theo Edwards feeling the tide. Double-figure kills in 18 of his last 20 matches on the serve. Has 2 kills here so far in this one. Comes up with the save there. Outside, that is Brink. And he's like a Brinks truck right now. Unstoppable.
He's really playing well. But how about that dig by Darcy? Going to his knees and then his back to bring that ball up and allow that play to continue. A lot of credit to the 6'10" from Australia.
7 serving for Irvine. And a move like they did early in set 1. Oh, that is hammered down by Jalen Phillips.
That was vintage Jalen.
I mean, it is rarefied air. Look at that. Full extension.
Surprised he only had 1.5 blockers up.
5 serving 7. They go outside. Here's Brink. It is all working for him right now. That is 8 kills for Andreas Brink. And that ties his career high. He had 8 kills in night 1 of their series with Long Beach State last week.
He's starting to feel healthier, says David Nippen. And he's happy to see him playing well at this time of year.
We're seeing why Niff has such belief in this guy. Over on 2, tried Cost. He got blocked back, and that time sends it into the string, and even he has to smile about it.
Really good dig by Darcy. He's playing some good defense. He's the 6'10".
Cameron Costi, the redshirt freshman from Hayward, California, out of Bishop O'Dowd High School, and the son of Stanford head coach John Costi. D-set, Phillips explodes on that one.
I guess he just takes the game to warm up. Is that it?
Maybe.
Unbelievable.
It's a set 2 thing.
Those last 2 swings were phenomenal.
So Phillips up to 5 put downs, and he retreats back to serve. 7 serving 8. And misses the floor wide. Phillips, all Big West Conference first team selection as announced yesterday. 7th in career kills at CSUN. Has 1,087 kills coming into tonight. So give him 1,092. That is in the rally scoring era, 7th all time. And the 16th Matador ever to reach 1,000 career kills. Here's Lucas. Dug up over the net by Goss. That's a middle doing that. D-set, Phillips, the roll shot, Goss again. Second touch there by Costi and sent over. Over on 2, tried to go Doffner, and it gets blocked back. Lucas again, dug up by Darcy, but that will be a CSUN point. And the fans loving the action back and forth on both sides of the net.
Great dig by Goss on a good Lucas swing. And this time Goss keeps it alive again. And there's a little chatter through the net there. I think got some warning from R1 Tony Chen.
First of the 2-match series with UC Irvine, Lucas had a really strong performance. 8 kills at 636. Joust above the tape. Also had 7 digs in that CSUN loss. But it's a CSUN win, at least on that point, by virtue of that block. It was Doffner jumping up next to Favarin.
It was a solid block, 4 hands across. And they just blocked a really good player in Jokanovic.
9 serving 9, and that set a little too tight to the net. Put down by Owen Doffner. Irvine complaining that the ball was still on their side and that it should have been an interference. Nothing doing. CSUN vaults ahead here in the second. Pass there by Brink. Middle set, Clark. Hanging and banging.
No wonder he hits for the highest percentage in the league. He hangs up there and looks around and goes, okay, I think I'll go there. Oh, the block is there? Oh, I'll stay away from that and hit the other way.
Okay,
wow, he's impressive.
I guess I'll come down now.
Yeah.
That's an overpass. Jokanovic couldn't get it down, though. CSUN on the attack. Here's Phillips from behind the line. Great layout save, Costi. And Irvine able to continue the point. Outside, big leap, Avila. Deep corner and in. How about the 6'1" Joao Avila showing off the bunnies.
In there mostly for passing, but he's showing that he does have the hops and the arm swing to get the job done.
In his second year with CSUN. Well, Avila, such a versatile player. Here's Jokanovic, wrist away, down the line and in. And there is some chatter right now taking place between the net here, C-Mac.
Yeah.
That was Jokanovic that time. A few extra words in the direction of the Matadors across the way.
I think Tony Chan will be calling the captains in pretty soon.
And that's an out serve. So back and forth we go here. Tightly contested second frame. Jokanovic, who was the ABCA National Player of the Week, April 13th. That was after a career-tying 23-kill, 13-dig performance against CSUN on April 9th. So he has had some big-time performances already against these Matadors. Middle set, Clark, straight down to the floor. And we're tied at 12.
Well, he is so impressive. His range, his arm swing, vision, his jump. No wonder he's the #1 kill percentage leader in the conference.
Here he is on the serve. Popped straight up in the air by Lucas. Back set, Avila, blocked straight down. Just hit it right into the teeth of that resistance. It was Brink jumping up next to Goss. And Irvine leapfrogs to take the lead. So Clark to serve. Trevor Clark spent 2 years at San Diego Mesa College as a Southern Region Player of the Year. And he gets the ace. Just like he drew it up.
And that's exactly what David Niffen wanted out of Trevor Clark this year. He wanted better serving, and he's getting it. Look at that serve.
Here's Phillips. And he lights it aflame. Holy moly. 6 kills now for Jalen Phillips. None as violent as that one. Oh, and Avila sends it into the net. So Irvine gets to 15 here. And they lead by 2.
Avila now with service error number 3 on the night. CSUN with 8 service errors. And they've got to take some chances from behind the service line if they're going to beat this team.
Goffner going against the grain. Phillips took a little something off, dug up by Aitken. Oh, the middle set from way behind the three-point line. Goss couldn't get it down, but it ends up out of bounds. Point to Irvine. How daring was that set attempt by Cameron Costi?
That was very daring. His dad, John, Stanford men's coach, is in the house, and I think you'd be surprised to see that kind of a play.
Oh, Darcy, bad toss. Still gets it in, though. Outside, Lucas. Did he get a touch? Yes, he did. So he gets the kill and the point. Yeah, John Costi in the house, and it was great. He came up to us to say hi, and diving save. Phillips, well done. Babadine tips it over the block. Costi, quick reset. Jokanovic, cross court and wide. And the point goes to the Matadors. And that is the 4th hitting error for Andrei Jokanovic.
Very uncharacteristic of Jukanovic. He's normally a very high percentage player. Always takes the smart shot.
Hitting 295 for the season. Here's a decent Darcy. Dig by Karnizis. Another free ball opportunity here for Irvine. Oh, an overpass, but it's handled by Costi. The quick thinking.
And that pass a little tight to the net. Costi made the right choice there. Got up quickly and tapped it down.
That was some good improv there by Cam Costi. Well rested, played just 2 sets last week before Dave Niffen decided to sit him.
He had a little bit of an ankle issue going on. Says he's about 90% ready this week.
Lucas off the block and out. And Jordan Lucas with his 5th kill. And that puts the Matadors back in front, 19 serving 18. See some of those in the house to support Jordan Lucas. Pass by Brink is a good one. Middle set, Clark. Diving save, Lucas. Outside it goes to Doffner with the swing. Little roll reversal. Now Jukanovic off.
Crucial. Keep that serve in after the timeout, Canoa.
This is Costi on the jump float. D-set Phillips. No blockers anywhere in sight. And it turned into hitting lines for big Jalen Phillips.
Big mistake by UCI blockers. Got to really pay attention to Jalen Phillips wherever he is in the court to make sure you get one, preferably 2 blockers at all times.
7 kills on 19 swings, 2 errors for Phillips. And here's Grayson Albers, redshirt freshman. Middle blocker and outside hitter on the serve. Middle set, Clark. Oh, the point of contact was up in the rafters.
Yeah, he is long, lanky, got a great arm, can move it wrist away, can bring it back across his body. He's got great vision. Really impressive middle blocker.
So Clark up to 4 kills on 8 swings. Big serve coming up here, Jukanovic. A pass by Lucas. High ball set outside Avila by the double block. Past the diving attempt of Jukanovic. How did Joao Avila see that?
It comes from some savvy international play. Long time in the Brazilian national team gymnasium.
Theo Edwards calls him a special player. We have seen some moments of that here in this match already. Darcy roofed by Jalen Phillips. And the Matadors are up 3 here late in the second.
What a turnaround. Matador block especially has improved. Look at Phillips getting up there. Take away the line, and he reached with his right hand to take away the cross court.
Biggest lead for CSUN, make it that much bigger. A service ace by Owen Doffner, and it is Aloha ball set point here in set 2 for CSUN. Doffner to try to tie this match up. Middle set, it's Clark, saved by Doffner. So Lucas sets up Phillips, blocked, but it goes beyond the end line. And the Matadors even things up. They flip the scoreboard, dropping set 1, 20-25.
And Phillips has got to continue to get more and more sets to compete against this very large UCI team.
And he's doing it in both ways. Offensively, he has been overpowering and seems to be getting stronger as this match goes on. And defensively, he's got 4 blocks.
Yeah, there you see the 2 kill percentages for the night. 048 and 444. Big difference for the Matadors.
And so set 3 underway. Lay out, diving save there by Jordan Lucas. And we're going to have a 4 contact violation. against the Matadors. So point one of the third goes to Irvine. And it's Cam Costy who will serve. Big West Conference all-freshman team selection, part of the announcement for the all-star teams yesterday. Bump set. And that is dinked down by Jokanovic.
And a frustrated Jokanovic celebrates madly because he finally got a clean kill.
Yeah, he had some moments of disappointment through the first two sets. It's a little off in the calibration.
He's hitting 0-0-0 on the night.
And Phillips rattles it off of the hands of Clark and down.
You know, one of the things that David Niffen was telling us before the match was that he feared the fact that the CSUN team was 0-10 and they're going to come out and play loose. And they're going to play free and easy. And they looked like that in the second set for sure.
Middle set, there's Clark, bounces it for an Irvine point. Yeah, there's something to be said about a team like CSUN where they clearly have some pieces that allow them to be competitive, but it just hasn't come together, at least through Big West Conference play. But to enter the postseason with that disposition of we really have nothing to lose. We can take all the chances and all the risks that we want to. There was no chance of returning that serve, though, by Jokanovic, and he beats his chest a couple of times at some of the UC Irvine fans in that corner.
I think one of the things that CSUN might worry about is Jokanovic is not going to hit 0-0-0 all night.
Hits that one long, however. Four aces to go along with 10 service errors for UC Irvine. 3 aces to 10 errors for the Matadors. Here's Owen Doffner, the setter, on the serve, and he sends it long. I mean, it sounds simplistic at times, but C-Mac, the importance of serving tough and serving in this tournament. What do you think it is?
Oh, it's vital. And I think serving in at the right times, like after timeouts and after a long delay of any kind of a challenge or anything like that, is important to continue to have the momentum that you built up.
Avila on the serve. Skips off the tape. Backside set, that's Darcy, punched up in the air by Doffner. Karnizis sends it back to the net, and it is thrown down by Darcy, and some of the CSUN players thinking that maybe it was a literal throw. Maybe it was cradled just for a nanosecond extra.
Let's see in slow motion what it looks like. Hard to tell there, but that was a good shot.
And now Darcy to serve. Popped straight up by Karnizis. Doffner, high and away, Lucas. Dug up along the back line by Jokanovic. Here's Darcy. Good up again by Doffner. Phillips will take the swing at it. Now the other way, it's Goss in the middle, off the block. Advantage, Matadors. Doffner, backside, Phillips. Oh, got slowed down by the block that time. Outside, Brink. Blocked and roofed. Guess who? Phillips once more.
He's starting to put his marks on this particular match. I should say his footprint.
Fingerprints, footprints, everything.
Yeah. And watch for him to get more and more sets as well in this third set.
Brink rattled it through the block, but the save by Avila. High and away, it's Lucas. Did he get a touch? They're going to say he did. So Lucas gets the kill. That's his 6th of the match. A guy who averages 2.4 kills per set, hitting 248 on the year.
That was a really good high-hand swing. He didn't have much place to go as far as hitting court, but he could hit high hands. A nice job.
Hitting 286 here tonight. High ball set, Darcy from behind the line. Too hot to handle there for Doffner. And UC Irvine having to scrap a little bit here. We talked about it in the open, C-Mac. You can take everything that happened in the regular season, and you can toss it out the window. And CSUN has the ability to just start with a clean slate here in the postseason where anything can happen. How about that daring middle set? Good dig, though, by Aiken. Good dig on the other side by Carnizes. The swing by Lucas. Oh, what a job by CSUN to keep it off the Terraflex. Advantage Anteaters outside. And that finally put down by Jokanovic. And he is fired up.
He's been frustrated all night long, hitting 0-0-0. That's when you hit 0, you have the same number of errors as you have for kills, and he's now starting to have some separation there. Yeah, Goss had the best line on it, and he did a brilliant communication.
Here's Goss. Pass by Avila is a beauty. Decent Phillips. And a good dig there in the back row by Darcy. Jokanovic, that's dug up by Lucas. CSUN on the attack. Against the grain, it's Phillips with a set off the mark. He has to send it over free ball style. Jokanovic, the push dink. It is pulled back onto the Matador side by Pavadine. We play on. Costi, middle set. Clark finds the open floor in the far corner.
Will it surprise you that Clark ended that point? No surprise.
Hacky sack back and forth between Clark and his outside Jokanovic.
That was pretty clever by Jokanovic that time. He could have gone all the way across court to set the right side. It would have been a traditional thing to do, but instead he says, you know what, I'm going to give it right back to Clark. He'll be ready for it, and he puts everything down anyway. Why not?
They went hot potato style there. Irvine on a 7-1 run. So updating Clark's numbers, he's now up to 7 kills, hitting 500. 2 aces, 3 digs, a block. Doing a little bit of everything. Serve goes out. And here's Jordan Lucas to serve. And he sends it long. Lucas spent 2 years at Grand Canyon, split time at libero and outside hitter. Elite 90 award winner in 2024. Transferred to CSUN prior to last year, but he redshirted in 2025. As that serve goes long. And he has, for what it's worth, drawn a lot of eyeballs to this men's volleyball postseason. As that one stays on the Matador side. So Irvine with a comfortable advantage here midway through the third. Andre Jokanovic, who was a 7-time Big West Conference Freshman of the Week this season, gets ready to serve. And that goes into the string. So both teams with 14 service errors apiece. And Owen Doffner hearing it from some of the student section at that end. And that goes into the twine.
And now they're taking credit for that miss serve.
It's become a game of can you not top this from the service line. Carnizes takes on the set. It's Phillips, and he's blocked and roofed. And the Matadors spinning wheels right now as Irvine has found its form.
Notice they've got the 6'10 Darcy matched up with Jalen Phillips. It's favorable for UCLA.
Here's Phillips from the left side. dug up by the middle Trevor Clark, but it winds up over and out. And that's 10 kills for Jalen Phillips. So another double-figure outing for Phillips. And this is the norm. There's Avila.
Oh, serve.
Pass. And then Avila with the dig on the Goss swing. Outside, Lucas tools the block. And Jordan Lucas, 17 attempts. He has 7 kills, just 2 hitting errors. So he has presented well here this evening for the Matador cause. They still trail by a half dozen, however, in the third. Outside, that's Brink. And he gets it down. Already a career night for Andreas Brink. And that gets him to 10 kills. So he enters double figures for the first time as a UC Irvine Anteater.
Yeah, and playing for the Denmark, national team in gym, he and playing a lot of beach volleyball, he knows where the open parts of the course are. And how that last one he did was an example of that.
Oh, look at Costi on 2. Goss couldn't get it down the dig by Karnezis. High ball set. Here's Lucas again, straight down to the floor. Micah Goss says,
Goss with great penetration over the net. Look at that, way over the net. That's why almost uncoverable by the offense.
Look at Goss prepped at Dos Pueblos High School in Santa Barbara. Here's Phillips. 3 blockers loading up. It's saved. Oh, but the block loaded up the other way as Nem and Phillips deny access. Man, we are seeing guys just hammering the volleyball throughout this entire evening.
Yeah.
Back row. And that's Jokanovic connecting.
Is that hammering right there?
Yeah, yes. Hammer, meet, nail.
Uh-oh, looks like Bavarim. You hope it's not his patella that's been bothering him all season. It looks like it might be an ankle. Yeah, it's an ankle, not the patella.
Okay, that's at least a better sign that it's not a re-injury or a re-aggravation, but I mean, this is something that has become all too familiar for the Matadors, seeing guys going down. And Joao Favaim, he is going to try to walk it off, and he's going to try to continue. Let's see if we can see where it happened. Oh, that's friendly fire right there. Comes down on his teammate Jalen Phillips' foot.
Yeah.
Theo Edwards checking on his middle, making sure he's good to go. And he says he is. He'll stay out there. 20 serving 12. Irvine has taken control here in set 3. Out hitting CSUN 364 to 053. And that's going to help the cause for the Eaters. And that is Brink having a career night and doing it in all kinds of ways.
Well, that time Brink went after one of CSUN's better passers than Jordan Lucas, but Lucas couldn't bring that one back in. It was a really, really good serve. That was going to paint the line.
Yeah, I don't think there are too many humans that could have conjured up a pass there. Pass by Karnezis. Doffner going backside. Here's Phillips. The block was a little late in forming, and so Jalen Phillips took advantage. 11 kills, but prior to that put down was hitting 172. So you figure he's going to have to be a little more prolific and a little more efficient if CSUN's going to make a match of this again.
Now, as he goes into the back row, that's where I think he has even more efficiency.
Good pass by Jokanovic, and over on 2 goes Costi.
Cameron Costi looking a little bit like some of the other setters in the league who are using that two-fisted ball over on 2.
Yeah, looking like another Cameron, in fact, that we saw earlier in the evening. Cameron Whirl. He applied that dump shot, the two-handed dump shot, a few times in UC San Diego's win over UC Santa Barbara. D set, here's Phillips. I mean, it was a wall that was set up, and he just went right through it.
How did that get through? You see Irvine just enough room between their forearms and the net to have a volleyball slide in there.
Here's Lucas on the serve. D-set, Darcy off of the chest of Lucas. Phillips able to center it. Irvine with the advantage. Outside, Jokanovic blocked and roved. Doffner and Favadim. Looks like Favadim's ankle is holding up. And Owen Doffner getting the gist of it.
That was a solid swing by... Here's the first of all the dig by Lucas to keep the play alive. A one-handed tip here by Phillips.
Irvine still up 7. Back row, that's Brink blocked back. Brink gonna set up Jokanovic. Saved by Karnizes. Outside, here's Avila. Cross court and wide, no touch. And so the Anteaters closing in here on a set 3 win. And it'll be Costy serving. 16 aces on the year coming into this match. Forces the overpass. Little joust above the tape. And now Jokanovic. Great layout by Lucas. It's returned over the net, but it looked like it may have been outside the antenna. But all's well that ends well from Irvine's perspective, because that is hammered down by Clark. And now a warning, it seems, from Tony Chan, because Shane Aitken.
Here comes the card.
Oh, the card is coming out, a yellow. Shane Aitken, the libero. He was adamant that that ball was returned outside of the antenna, and I think he has an argument. He's just not in a position to argue that to the R1.
Exactly. It's got to be the captain only talks to the R1.
The emotions run high in the postseason. So much at stake. Seasons on the line. And it is set point in the third for Irvine. Many in the stands to their feet here at Brent Event Center. And it'll be Cameron Costy. Aloha ball in the third. And it goes long. Jordan Lucas dodging that one like the Matrix. U19 North European Volleyball Zonal Association Tour. So they have different divisions there, and to be the standout guy among those players is certainly no small feat. So he comes with some of those expectations and a little bit of that hype, but it was still interesting to see David Niffen so adamant about Andreas Brink being the key for them in the postseason when he just hasn't really played that much throughout the year.
Niff has obviously seen more of him in the Danish women's national team, so there's some volleyball in that family.
That's some good genes. And right now, Irvine up 2-1 here, playing on its home floor. Trying to take advantage of this opportunity.
And what's interesting is, basically, they've done it without their big star, our all Big West star, Andre Jokanovic. Normally, night in, night out, he leads them in kills, and he's been their, their spiritual leader and the guy that fires everybody up and gets so many amazing kills. French national team player, teammate of Hawaii's Adrian Rohr, and but tonight has not been a great night for him offensively.
Yeah, a little bit below his standard numbers, right?
9 kills, hitting a $120. Got a service ace, but he's got 4 service errors to go along with that.
Also has 7 digs, just another example, just like Adrian Rohr.
Yeah.
You know, Hawaii fans are obviously extremely familiar with, that even on an offensive night, by his incredible standard, he can do so many other things to help you win.
He's a really good passer and plays great defense.
High ball set goes to Avila. The tip sniffed out there by Costi. Here's Darcy hitting from the right. And he just goes over everybody.
Well, if you're 6'10", you can do that, can't you?
6'10", flex it. Irvine trying to make it to the semifinals once again. Lost to Hawaii in the semis of last year's event. Oh my goodness. That was a missile by Jalen Phillips.
It was flying out of the back row. Hits that D ball. Had the block well formed, it looked like. And he found a way to hammer it through.
One serving one here. Favorine on the serve. Pass Jokanovic. He gets the set on the right side. And right down Broadway. And he's up to 10 kills. It's an Irvine team that lost so much from last year, right? So much elite talent.
Yeah.
In Nolan Flexen, middle blocker Maxim Grigoriev. How about Elir Heno, who goes down as one of the all-timers, certainly one of the great servers of all time in men's volleyball. Here is Jokanovic. And they're going to say there was no touch. So it goes long. And another long exhale there by Andrei Jokanovic. Things just a little off here and there for him.
Picks up hitting error number 7. He's got almost half the hitting errors on UCI's stat sheet.
There's Clark. Clark is so unorthodox. Sometimes the jump looks a little off kilter. Maybe it's not the cleanest or smoothest approach, but when he makes contact with the ball, it's usually pretty pure.
When he's late, he still manages to get the kill. When he's early, he just hangs up there and looks around and goes, okay, I'll hit it down and now I'll come down. He's just an amazing athlete.
Goes back to the bench. Clark, his dad played basketball at Chapman University. His brother plays water polo at Fresno Pacific. Oh, that one shanked a little bit. Darcy centers it. Goss gets a swing out of it. One-hand save over the net by Avila. Irvine on the attack. They go outside. Left-hand touch by Brink. Goes off the block and out. That was some big-time ad-libbing from the Frosh.
He did have to do some imagination going on there, some creativity, as the set ran right by him. And Phillips was hoping he could bring that one in. Not to be.
Behind the head middle set. Layout save Aiken. And that one hit cross court and wide by Brink. That's Brink's 6th hitting error. The lone, perhaps, blemish of an otherwise incredible night. That one goes through his hands. Bump set to Brink. And he makes it work. So he immediately atones for the hitting error just seconds earlier.
Yeah.
And give Jokanovic credit for that set.
Well, he and Jokanovic have almost all of the hitting errors for the Anteaters tonight. So you wouldn't expect that because both of them are pretty high percentage players.
And how excited is David Niffen to have both of those guys as freshmen in his program?
Yeah.
Brink on the toss. CSUN out of system. High ball set. It's Phillips. Pushes it past the block. It stays on the Irvine side. Jokanovic. The swipe maneuver. And that works for his 11th kill. And now we see some smiling from Andrei Jokanovic.
He's been pretty happy all night, haven't he?
And the smile from David Niffen to boot. One of the great guys in volleyball to talk story with, Dave Niffen. As that serve goes wide. Always is so nice to us. Walks over, talks story with us before some of the matches.
Yeah, whenever he's in Hawaii, he always comes up and says, hey, you guys got everything you need?
Yeah.
He's so helpful.
Just likes what this team is showing. As CSUN liking what Jalen Phillips showed right there. That is his second service ace. And that ties things up at 6 here in the fourth. What David Niffen is telling us about his team is that he feels like they have, for the most part this season, showed they have an answer in most situations. And he knows that it was a work in progress. So many young players, some injuries to deal with.
As that hits Darcy, and it's an ace. He couldn't get out of the way.
It's dodgeball time.
Well, you have heard, and you've
We've seen this all year. At least once a match. Well, once every couple matches, that'll happen.
Well, you've elicited the term hit them where they ain't. That time Phillips. 14 kills. How about that? The rest of the Matadors, also 14 kills.
He can take over match whenever he wants.
On the other side, you have 12 kills for Andreas Brink, 11 for Andrei Jokanovic. And it's an ace by Phillips out of the timeout. He is just showing his team he's going to strap the Matadors and their season to his shoulders. And he's going to try to do the heavy lifting here tonight. 4 service aces.
And CSUN has found their offense again, hitting .444 now to the CSUN's hitting .333 to Irvine's .444. Hence the 3-point difference.
Put a little extra sauce on that serve. Outside, Jokanovic gets it back for Irvine. And again, an extra exclamation point via the gaze through the net given there by Andrei Jokanovic.
He's a competitor.
You gotta love it. You gotta love that too.
Niffen, Coach Niffen's taught the student audience when to clap. Because Goss has a pre-serve routine where he slaps the ball 3 times. So now he's got the whole audience. All the students know that, okay, let's clap when Goss is slapping.
So this match not treated as a true home match for Irvine because it's part of the Big West postseason. But they do all kinds of great things in those home matches. As Clark doing great things there, putting it down in the middle position. But David Niffen telling us, yeah, we've created these traditions now where the players will go up into the seats to say hi to fans between sets 2 and 3. And they even got a pizza sponsor where they're handing out pizzas to fans.
It's pretty cool.
Outside, here's Avila. Got blocked. Now goes the other side. Doffner gets blocked. And Roof. Jokanovic all by himself. Saying, oh, no, you don't.
What a nice move Jokanovic makes. And he says, no, don't anybody try to come by my block.
And that pulls the Anteaters back within 1. Irvine trying to advance to the semis where they will face the 2 seed Long Beach State if they are able to complete this victory. One semifinal already set, UC San Diego and top seed Hawaii. Tomorrow, the first of the 2 semis. And that's an ace. Cameron Costi. His first of the match, he gets in on the service fun. Layout pass by Lucas. He had to extend fully for that, and then Phillips gets blocked. Irvine saying it didn't get over the net, but they play on, and then CSUN wins the point as Avila goes off the block and out. No argument at all from David Niffen, so he may have seen something even though there were some Irvine players who were arguing that that should have been a 4-hit penalty.
Yeah, I think Ivanovic got it there with his left hand.
Middlesex, Clark laying the